Welcome into the DuckZone503 Podcast. I'm your host, Dominiqk Peterson, and today I got a very, very special guest on tap today. So as you guys join in, get ready because I got 2024 4-star safety, borderline 5-star. I mean, this guy was elite last season. Aaron Flowers in the building. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the DuckZone503 Podcast. Talking all things Oregon football. With your host, Dominiqk Peterson. Let's go.
Welcome in, everybody. There he is, the man of the hour, 2024 4-star safety, Oregon signee, Aaron Flowers is in the building, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just chilling right now.
Man, I'm so excited to talk to you, man. I know it's kind of late, so I appreciate you coming on. Gonna break down, your whole recruiting process, your high school career, because man, from your junior year to your senior year, even going back to your sophomore year, the way you rose through these ranks, because I pay attention to these 247 sports rankings, man, superstar, and you play down there in Texas, right? Forney, Texas, Forney High School. Some of the best competition you can go against, and you were proving it. Borderline 5-star, guys. We're talking about 247 Sports Composite got him the number 4 safety in the country, number 12 best player in Texas, 66th best player in the nation, according to 247 Sports Composite. He signed with the Ducks on December 20th, 2023, officially became a Duck. We're talking schools like Alabama, Arizona State, Arkansas, Baylor. According to 247 Sports, were in his recruitment, but we'll get it straight from him. Let's just kind of start out on your early life, because that's how I like to start out getting to know these recruits. Is where's your hometown? Are you originally from Forney? Is that where you grew up, or are you kind of guy like kind of bounce around? How was your early life?
I mean, I bounced around for a bit. I was born in Dallas, and then Forney's in Dallas, but like I mostly grew up like my childhood like in East Texas, and then once it came near like late middle school, early high school, I moved to Forney, and then from there, that's where I stayed most of my time.
Love it, man. And who do you think are some some? It could be family, it could be coaches. Coming up, because you're gonna need those key guys. Becoming a special player the way you are, you're gonna need some key guys in your life to really help you elevate your play. So who are some of those guys in your lifetime, through whether it be middle school, elementary to high school, that really helped you elevate your play?
I mean, mostly guys, people that motivated me for sure was my mom and dad. I mean, what they did for me to put me in the best position to be where I'm at right now, I mean, I can't thank them enough. I mean, they made me like watch film, whatever, pushed me through football, taught me all the things I need to do. That my pops always critiques me after every game. So, I mean, it was good up to him. My trainer, I met him like my freshman year, and then he got me like the connection with Oregon too. So I can't thank enough of that. So, I mean, no doubt. I mean, those are the 3 people I want to thank, and then that helped me to the journey where I'm at right now.
100%. Yeah. And you mentioned the coach, connection to Oregon. How was that process, with your coach getting a connection with Oregon? Who did he know from Oregon? And, how did that connection kind of originally start with the Ducks?
I mean, it started because Oregon, like, they hit me up a little bit, but they didn't offer me yet. But my coach, it was my junior year after my season, I think. And then he was hitting me up saying, "Oh, how you feel about Oregon?" And I was like, "Oh, I would go there. I mean, no doubt for sure. It's a top school." And then he was like, "Oh yeah, I know my Coach Hamp was came to visit his school in McKinney, Texas." And then he was like, "Yeah, he likes your friend. He's wondering what you think about going there." I was like, "Oh yeah, no doubt," because Coach Hamp just got out of Tulane, and he didn't even settle down in Eugene yet, and he offered me like his first offer for my coach connection. So I mean, that was really impressive for me. And without him, I probably wouldn't be in the spot I'm right now going to Oregon.
Nice. Okay. Love it, man. Yeah. I mean, that's an amazing story. Being a special football player, got to get in the game early, got to start developing. Some guys get in the game late and still can kill it. What's your story? Are you kind of a late bloomer in the game of football, or have you always been playing? And, who kind of originally got you into it? And did you originally like playing? Some guys get into it, like, I didn't like it at first, but it grew on to me. Like, how's the game of football with you as a player?
I mean, I always loved football growing up because I used to watch it, like, football vines back in 2015 and stuff. So, I mean, I always loved it. But I didn't get to play football until, like, 8th grade because my mom was like, "Oh, you're too good to get hurt," or whatever. Because I was a little skinny kid back then. So she was like, "I can concussion, get hurt." And my dad was like, "No, it's good. I think he's ready by 8th grade. And that's when the first time I put pads on and everything. I played receiver first, and then that was like my first ever time playing football. It was fun. I was super bad back then. But then as the years go on, I developed and followed techniques and stuff and knew actually how to play. So that's where it came from mostly.
100%, man. You're playing in Texas, one of the best states to develop as a young player, right? Going against all that competition down there. I mean, for viewers that don't know, states like Texas, California, Florida, I mean, these states have a lot of talent when it comes to high school talent. So if you're a guy developing down there, I mean, that is awesome. And it's not easy to play down there, 100%. I mean, you can speak for yourself. So, playing in these big games. I mean, I come from Oregon. I grew up here. And it's nothing like Texas high school football, man. With these arena-sized football stadiums you're playing in front of already as a high school player, man, it's insane when I see it. And how do you think that helps you, playing in that state? Going against the best of the best. How do you think that kind of gives you the advantage going in to college where you might be a little more ready than the other guys?
I mean, I feel like Texas football prepared me a lot because when you go against every team. Most times you go against another 4-star offensive player, like a receiver, running back. So you're used to seeing competition in every single game. And some other kids aren't prepared because they're not used to seeing even competition going against them. And heat in the moment when they see a kid just as good as them, they low-key freeze. But I feel like I've been prepared because I've been with going against every top player in the nation. Go playing in Texas too. So that gives me the edge. I feel like I'm more ready. Competitive wise, I feel like in the moment, when the moment's too big, I feel like I wouldn't really freeze up or seize up when someone's just as good as me. So I feel like that's what it comes down to.
I love that. I love that answer, man. Guys, if you guys are watching this right now, please give this video a thumbs up, a like on YouTube if you haven't already. If you listen on Spotify, please rate us 5 stars. Really appreciate everybody does. Helps us grow every day. Appreciate you. And go Ducks. Guys, make sure to go follow our boy right here. 2024 4-star signee Aaron Flowers. I got his handle down there as well. So we're speaking about big games, getting into it. I always like to ask this question, because everybody has a different music taste. When you're going into games before the game, who's some of your go-to artists, man? Who's your go-to music taste, man?
I mean, when it comes to games, probably Chief Keef, Youngboy. I'm trying to play aggressive music, because everybody play aggressive games, so you can't just play.
I love it.
So yeah, I got to play aggressive music, get my mind right, and in the mode. Future and all of them. Yeah, that's why I play.
Man, I love that because that's how I was, when I played it. And I asked the players, and I'm like, what do you listen to? Some people are like, man, I like to calm my mind. I'm like, I get it. That's some players, but I'm like, man, I connect with the players that want to just, ramp up before the game. I love it, man. But I do see a way of calming your mind, being calm. You don't want to be too amped up, so I get it. It goes both ways. So this was a big sign up for the Ducks getting you, man, because we lose, we're going to be losing a lot of secondary guys here in the next few years. You're going to be a guy that's coming up in the ranks. You could even this year have a big role, just the way things are playing out. So I'm very excited, man. Let's get into your recruiting process a little bit. You mentioned, without Coach Hampton, who just got promoted to the defensive backs coach. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's just ask you about that. How do you feel, man? He's officially promoted to the defensive back coach, bigger role now. I heard reports that he was offered multiple different jobs. He could have left as a defensive coordinator, full-time P5 jobs, but decided to stay at Oregon and stay the DB coach, man. And you see Lanning as well. This whole staff. We can talk about the whole staff not taking the Alabama job. I mean, that's wild within itself. So, how do you feel? Your coaching staff is loyal to the soil when it comes to this program, man.
I feel great about it because I know Coach Hamp, no doubt, he is all bought in the staff because him and my dad and me were texting. And he was like, "No, I've been offered a bunch." He told my dad what school's offering and whatever to be a full-time Power 5 coach, and he was like, "No, I'm not done here. This is probably one of the best spots I could be at." And knowing that too, and Coach Lanning too, they're all bought in, knowing that Oregon is a spot where you can succeed as a coach, and there's already one of the blue blood schools where you can succeed. So, it feels great knowing my coaches are loyal to the program and won't just flake on me. So, I always feel great about it. That's all I got to say.
I love it, man. And you were obviously heavily recruited by other schools. Mention some of the schools in the beginning, but just from your own words, man, what were some of those schools that were really in it? Was there a school that was close to Oregon, or was Oregon kind of the runaway for you?
I mean, not gonna lie with you. I mean, I was going to USC, like, because I was like looking at my dream school growing up because I was like LA. But I
Oh
mean,
wow,
Oregon,
okay.
it was
Hell yeah.
I was silently committed to them, and then I was telling Oregon about it. And then it was like 3 days before my commitment, they were like calling me, blowing my phone up, and I was spreading pros and cons between both schools because Oregon was like really close second. It was like basically tied with USC and Oregon, and
Oh
Oklahoma
wow.
was. But it was USC and Oregon. And then at the last second, I was like, low key, Oregon shows me more love. And they showed me more love from the beginning, too. And I don't know. I feel like it's a better environment to succeed, especially as a defense player, too, being in Oregon.
Love it, man. Yeah, you mentioned, you said they showed you more love. Can are you able to deep dive into that? Like, what are some examples where the Oregon coaches were really, targeting you? It felt like they were targeting you more than the USC coaches.
I mean, I feel like the texting and calling more, I feel like it was more genuine. It wasn't like sugarcoating because like a lot of schools text you and call you a lot, but it's like you can tell the same same cookie cutter things they're telling you. But Oregon was like actually asking me like deep questions, tell me this and saying, oh, go here, fix this in your game, whatever. Because Coach Chen was telling me junior year, fix this before you go senior year, so you can ball out and get your rankings up. I was like, okay, for sure, Coach. And yeah, he really like genuinely cared on me. I could tell he wanted me to succeed no matter where I went, even if I went to Oregon or not. So I feel like that just showed how much respect and much they really wanted me to show that they did that.
Yeah, that's got to be tough as a recruit, man. Like I've obviously never been there, and coming from you, like how hard is that? Because you got so many people telling you how good you are, what you're gonna do at this campus, trying to get your trust, right? Trying to tell you what you want to hear. How is a young dude really that hasn't even really seen the world yet? How are you able to like kind of cut out the fake and get and tell what's real? Like how are you able to tell what those red signs are from coaches? Because I feel like that would be very difficult in the recruiting process.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard at first for sure a little bit because I really liked the recruiting process. 'Cause, like, it was like you tell most of it was fake, but like after a while, once you start getting the process, you start hearing the same things. You're like, okay, this coach saying the same thing this other coach saying, and then you realize the fakeness. Like if he tells you, like they tell you your dreams or something unrealistic, whatever, and then you can tell he's not really caring about you. The same coach, they're like, oh, how are you? What's your day? We really want you. We need you here. It's like every coach says that, but like, why do they need you here? They don't explain why. Or like, oh, you can play here day one, knowing like the roster's full of juniors and seniors. Like that's not true. You still got to work for it. Like that's what Oregon told me. I still got to work for it, which is realistic, and I accept that. And like knowing that, I could like over time, it got annoying. Not gonna lie, over a bit, but I mean, I could tell over time which one was fake, which one was real, over like the process as it kept on.
100%. I feel like as a recruit, you're able to tell. I mean, as an outsider, I'm able to tell which recruits are digging which schools based off visits. That's kind of how I'm able to kind of, be like, okay, this recruit's been here a few times. And how many times did you visit Oregon?
Ooh, no lie. I visited once before I committed, but after I committed, I was going there like every other month, right? I was like five, I think. I think it was 5,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And what do you think separates? Because I've heard this from other recruits. What do you kind of think separates an Oregon visit? Because you see recruits go to many different visits, and it's not like these other places have what Oregon doesn't got at this point. I mean, Oregon maybe in the early 2010s had the best campus, close to NFL practice facilities and all that, locker rooms, crazy stuff coming out. But now I feel like, in my opinion, college football has kind of caught up. Every campus kind of got that. So where do you feel like Oregon like stands out when you go to their campus and on their visit compared to other visits?
Okay, I still feel like Oregon, like I mean, I feel like there's like very like little schools that can compete with their facilities. Not gonna lie, facilities that Oregon has are probably like top 3. Maybe Bama, I say, can compete, in Georgia. Those are just 2-3 schools I can see. But other than like they stand out, and then their photo shoot things. Now they stand about doing that. That's one thing Oregon stands out. They take that serious, and just like crazy, believe it. So those 2 things I say Oregon sticks out crazy about whenever you visit them. So there's that.
Oh yeah, man. I agree. I love the Oregon media team, man. They make the photos and the edits look amazing, and man, it's awesome. Shout out the Oregon media team for sure. Absolutely love that. There's also a recruit from Texas that signed with the Ducks, linebacker Dylan Williams. How do you feel about him? What are you excited? What can you tell Duck fans about him? I'm hoping to get him on here as soon as possible as well.
Wait, Dylan Williams he's from Texas?
Dylan? Or no, he's from Cali, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from Cali. I was like,
yeah, California. Oh yeah, my bad. But no, how do you? I was just messaging him today, trying to get him on the channel, and he mentioned you. That's why I made that connection. I thought he was from Texas. Excuse me, but I made that connection because he mentioned you. He was like, "Yeah, man," because I was like, "What's one recruit that you can't wait to play with?" And he's like, Aaron Flowers, man. Every time I watch his tape, every time I see him, he pops out. So that's why I had that connection. But going back to him, just like, what are you excited about him? And just not even him, this whole class. Who you excited to play with?
I actually played with a lot of guys. I mean, Dylan was for sure. He's a baller. Not gonna lie, I see his tape too. He's like, I saw him get that pick in volleyball too. He's a baller, absolute baller. Him. Let's say I'm glad I played with secondary, like the DK, Dakota, Iffy too. They're both really, really good corners right now. Play Kingston too in the back end. I'm excited to play with everybody in class. I feel like our defensive class, Hall. I mean, I feel like no one can touch us. And realistically, I feel like the best defense in the 2024 recruiting cycle. And if linebacker core, we're gonna be starting on them in the D line, AB, rushing, and BP. Brain Platt's good too. And Kamar Matuti's really good. I have comments for everybody. So I mean, so is Jericho. So I mean, I can't really choose one recruit. I mean, I feel like everyone in the defense class is just stacked.
Man, and you got Tosh Lupoy, you got Dan Lanning staying, man. It is absolutely insane. It's gonna be a fun class, man. Let's get into something like your goals, like what you're looking forward to at Oregon. What are some of your like biggest goals your freshman year individually? Like when you come in next year, 2024, what's like some checklists you want to get things done?
I mean, I'm gonna be a freshman All-American for sure. That's one thing, and I feel like if I just work hard and put God first, I feel like I can achieve that. That was one thing. I'm hoping to get at least like a pick or two my freshman year. Like getting this starting two lineup. Like I'm probably not first or second string. One of those two play a lot. Not red shirt. That's one, and just make a big impact. So in Oregon. So yeah.
Love that answer, man. And are you on campus yet, or are you still there?
My apartment dorm room. I was walking back from campus. Actually, I was eating food from there. So.
Oh, bam. Okay, how's it been for you? Do you like it so far? How are you adjusting?
I like it though. It's just like it was on the. Not gonna lie, they didn't really sugarcoat anything. The only thing is the weather is like just rains every day. That they weren't lying about that. So it's way different from Texas. So that's the only about Oregon. That's how I said.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it gets a little better as the months go on. But and then you can go hit the beach, you can go to the mountain, you can do a bunch of things. That's the cool part about Oregon. You can go anywhere. My uncle just moved to the Dallas area 2 years ago, so it's funny. Nice. Yeah, so he tells me all about how it's different and stuff. It's great, but man, going back to your recruiting and stuff like that. What's like the main selling point for Oregon for you that made you really want to commit? I know you said you got really close with the coaches and stuff like that, but going from like off the visits from practices to anything. Oh, and also I wanted to ask, did you practice in the before the bowl game?
Oh no, I couldn't because of the All-American game, so the NCAA doesn't let you, so I could not.
I see. Okay. I was gonna ask about. I was like, how does that work? Like, do you guys know what you guys like? What do they have you guys doing? But no, that's another question for another day. But yeah. But like going back to Oregon, like how do you think? Like how do you feel like what was the main selling point for Dan Lanning and the Ducks? Why did you choose them?
I mean, I thought it was more genuine, and then being with a defensive head coach too, I feel like that sells the point hard. And I've seen their practice too. They practice really hard and they emphasize defense. It's not like some teams where they emphasize offense a lot. They emphasize defense and like hard nose, and then they keep it above with you too. And then they yell at you, whatever. So I feel like it was just like really truthful and honest being there. So I mean, I feel like that was the main selling point. I knew there too there was really connections to Oregon, and I feel like you just really focus on football and your academics, so you can't really like mess up. And there's a lot of people here to help you too succeed. So I feel like you can't really mess up here.
Love it, man. Absolutely love it. All right, guys. Well, there's you guys' interview with 4-star safety Aaron Flowers. Make sure you guys go give him a follow. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to us. Give us a like. Hit us up on Spotify. Rate us 5 stars. Appreciate everybody who listens genuinely. If you guys are on Instagram Live right now, please, if you guys can, if you haven't already, go to the link in my bio, click that, and go either subscribe to YouTube or Spotify so you can share the podcast to all the Duck fans you know. All right, guys, go Ducks. I'll see you in the next podcast.
Let's go.